Do, 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 do. Let's talk some football. Yeah. It's that time. Here we are. It is Friday morning. Friday morning. We'll talk a little bit of that. Top 100 players. Yeah, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Russell Wayne. This is the NFC North. This is the phone sessions. It is June the 16th, 2023, and we appreciate you guys making us a listen every day that you're on here. And we are broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions Villain Squad, Bill the Packer fan page, Detroit Lions News, NFC main event. We got Mike the Bear fan. You want to hop on? You want to talk some football with me today? I am going to throw the link into the comments right there. Come on in. Good morning. Good morning. I hope that you got your coffee. And I know that you are the avid football fan, if that's what you're doing, is listening to me right now, because the casual fan has checked out. The draft is over. They're just waiting. They're trying to get into some other things, some summer sports and all that thing. But hey, what's going on, Chris Pennington? Chris Pennington is a good musician friend of mine. I am a musician that loves football right here. But what I wanted to talk about today was the top 100 players. And here we are in the NFC North. I definitely want to hear your comments on how you feel that the NFC North teams did. I mean, I know that the Lions didn't do very well in it, but we'll going through it. Number one on this list, and I know that we love this as Michigan fan, is Tom Brady. Was rated as the best player in football. He's the greatest football player of all time. The stats, you can't deny the stats anymore. He is the common denominator. I know he played with a lot of great defenses and he played with a lot of great players, but so does every single Super Bowl team. So Tom Brady is the common denominator in all of those 7 championships. Some of them had good defenses, some of them had great offensive weapons, but it is what it is. I have no problem with them making Tom Brady number one on the list. And I don't think that this Facebook user is agreeing with that. Makes you want to throw up, huh? He just seems like kind of a average athlete to be the number one football player in all of football. The Detroit Browns, is that going to be the Super Bowl, John Dorn? The Detroit versus the Browns. It's a long off season. Yes, it is. It is. And when we create football content, this is the lull of the season. And that's why I appreciate a good football conversation. Hey, do you think that Tom Brady's the best quarterback in football right now and of all time? Throw that into the comments. Number 2 on that list was Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald was the number 2 player. And I have no problem with that. Honestly, he probably would make the case for the number 1 player. I think he's the most dominant defensive player maybe ever for what he pulled off when they won with Matt Stafford. Him and Von Miller just shutting down Joe Burrow and that high-powered offense for 8 minutes during the Super Bowl. And Aaron Donald, I have no problem with them making Aaron Donald the number 2 overall player in the NFL. I did throw the link into the comments. Pop on here. Have a conversation with me. We're talking about the top 100 players in the NFL as rated by NFL.com. Like, I ain't just pulling these numbers out of my butt. So these are real numbers. I'm got the website on lock here. Let me put this overlay. I think I got a picture here for you right there. Is at the top 100 right there. Boom. Right over my ugly mug right there. Tom Brady, number 1. Aaron Donald, number 2. Aaron Rodgers. Where you at, Packer fan? Aaron Rodgers is the third best player in the NFL. I mean, I hope that I'm not like on the wrong. Is this the wrong year or something? It says 2022, doesn't it? Top 100 players. Holy smoke. Oh, yep. Speak of the devil. I say Aaron Rodgers and speak of the devil. Boom. There. Evan shows up right there. Aaron Rodgers. I mean, is that a misprint? Did I accidentally pull up 2020 or something right there? Aaron Rodgers, the third best player in the NFL as rated by NFL.com. Right here.
Yeah. Maybe in 2021.
I mean, it's right on. I can't. I mean, I'm looking at it, man. They're giving him an awful lot of love right there. I mean, I'm with you, man. I think he's a great player. He's been a thorn in our side for years and years and years and years. But the third best player of last year, I don't know. I don't know who votes on this type of stuff. But Cooper Kupp, first wide receiver off the board, right there. Number 1 wide receiver as rated by NFL.com. I don't even know where they get these top. I mean, I don't even know how they come up with these lists, but I have no problem with Cooper Kupp being number 4. I mean, he's a dominant player. I mean, actually, I do have a problem with it because didn't he get shut down and was injured for part of the year?
I know he was injured for part of the year. I know that, but Cooper Kupp was a menace to the NFL when he was healthy. He was just a straight menace. Mm-hmm.
And that is totally fair right there. And we're going to bring a Bear fan in. Who's a Bear? Oh, it's Mike the Bear fan. What's going on, Mike the Bear fan?
Oh, actually doing well. I've been working a lot. Finally got a day off. I seen you were on, so I had to fucking jump on real quick. I think this is an old list because the list that you're saying, if you scroll down the number, I think is 48. Robert Quinn, defensive end of the Bears, is on that. So I think this is kind of old.
Well, I'm also on NFL.com right here. And
I think I have the same list as you anyways. It might be a little different, but as you were talking, I pulled it up myself. And
if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Please correct me in there. I mean, I'm going to see.
Well, it said for the 2022. That's what it says. I think it's the year before because, like I said, we didn't have Robert Quinn last year. If you scroll down on your list, see who's number 48, just to make sure we're still on the same list.
Yeah, and it does. Let me get to 48 right here.
I got to 48. It does say Robert Quinn for me.
Okay. See, he wasn't even a Bear. So, I mean, obviously it's
but it does say when I'm looking at it, it does say the transactions too. You know, he had a resurgent year. What it says about Robert Quinn at 48, he had a resurgent year in 2021, breaking the Bears single season sack record at 18.5, falling.
So this is from 2021, not 2022, because he didn't do hardly anything last year with the Eagles. So him to be on the 48th, you know what I mean? I don't think that's lucky.
I have to be.
And Rodgers, he shouldn't even be in the top 10 in my view. Don't get me wrong, he's a good quarterback and stuff, but he had a down year last year.
And I guess it was, but man, because I had heard, because I was looking through it and I didn't see any of the list. If I'm on the wrong list here, do you have a correct list?
Oh, this is the only list that I seen that would pop up. I actually put 2023 and I couldn't get nothing to pop up. This is the only one that I could actually. But yeah, I mean, I'm not knocking number 1. Obviously, Brady is by far, the best quarterback
Yeah.
ever in the NFL for sure, 100%. Shouldn't be any discussions, even debates on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's still a bogus list. I don't know. I
It
mean, we
is.
just kind
I
of
was personally just trying to scroll to see who Bear, Packer, Lions were, and I scrolled down. I'm like, the first one, a Bear, Quinn. Wait, hold on a second.
you know what? Yeah, but when I was looking at it, I was just kind of like, I'm just Google searching it, and it's like everything comes up from like every year. So it's like I'm not sure which ones are the real list, top 100 list, but
It's more opinionated. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I'm not
it
saying
depends.
fan base wise, but
But I just really I just wanted to create the conversation, with Minnesota Viking fan out there. I mean, where's your boy at?
they're nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I mean, he's not. I'm sure he's not ghosting the list,
No.
but no, I think I might be wrong. Okay, here's CBS Sports top players of 2023. Patrick Mahomes.
That's the one that should be more current in my view. Because obviously Patrick Mahomes is the next superstar. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's better than Brady.
Okay.
It's hard to say that. He could be, but he's not of now. He's on a good path to be.
Okay, so we'll use this. So I'm gonna throw this link in there, what we're referencing to, because this is a list right here that is from CBS Sports NFL top 100 players of 2023. And this is all opinionated. This is just to create a conversation here, guys. We're not trying to this is the home of the bad takes. Obviously most of these opinions are going to suck, but I'll go ahead and throw that link into the chats right now. And Patrick Mahomes being number 1, Josh Allen number 2.
Number 2, no. Burrow's better. Burrow's better.
Burrow number 3. Okay, then you could flip flop those. I'm good with that.
Yeah, that needs to be flip flopped.
Yeah, especially from last year when you're
and the year before.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Josh Allen was pretty damn good the year before, especially in the playoffs. To lose on the last 14 seconds is an anomaly, dude. Like Myles Garrett, number 5. Okay. Travis Kelce, number 6. Justin Jefferson. There you go. There you go. There, where are you all those Minnesota Viking fans and witness protection? You got the 7th best player in the NFL. You can bank it
I don't
up.
think anybody would even debate that. You know what I mean? Obviously, he's the next superstar. He's for sure real good. But the question is now, what's the Vikings going to do with him? Going to let him go? Going to pay him? Because we all know in the last couple of years they've been in cap space casualty. So,
I'll tell you what. I appreciate you coming on and bailing that out, because I really just wanted to put it up for just a conversation topic, just so we could discuss the list. And I'm glad that we got a better list to go.
I've wanted to come on and participate. I've missed some open mics, but man, I've been working 12-hour days. I had 104, 110 hours in 2 weeks, and I'll tell you what, on a roof, that is rough.
It is the off season. We don't mind, man. I just wanted to make it because I know what it's like during the lull of the off season, and I know that there's only a few people that are watching, but the ones that are watching, we want some football content. I want to talk about the fact that Micah Parsons is the 8th overall, player in the NFL. Aaron Donald being number 9. Trent Williams comes in at number 10. TJ Watt, Tyreek Hill, Chris Jones. I'm looking for an NFC North guy here. Sauce Gardner.
Even like you said, Sauce Gardner after his first year, that's pretty impressive.
That is
in the top 25.
That is, yeah.
What is he as far as DBs go? So Jalen Ramsey was ahead of him, and that might be. Was that it?
I think so.
Wow, he's rated as the 2nd best cornerback in the NFL going into his 2nd year. That is fantastic,
and for all those Packer fans, Adams is still 17. They're like, oh, he had an off year. If you look at his stats, he did not have an off year. He did well in the Raiders. The person that had the off year was Rodgers without the most drops in the NFL. So
Yeah, so Devontae Adams, I mean, that's a interesting one to throw in there. How do you feel about that, Evan? I mean, Devontae
I'm more
Adams
surprised that Jair Alexander isn't bumped up on that list. He was one of the best cornerbacks last year. And he locked up Justin Jefferson when they played each other, which says something about him being an elite weapon, an elite defensive weapon.
Right.
And yeah, I'd put him above Sauce Gardner because I'd put him above him. Ramsey, it's very debatable, but I'd put him at least above Sauce.
Surtain? You're talking about Patrick Surtain? Who were you talking about?
No, Alexander.
Jair.
Oh,
yeah,
Jair. Where's he at? Okay, Jair's at
21.
Okay, and then 19 is Patrick Surtain. Okay, I was just looking at cornerbacks and just saying, so Jair Alexander has Sauce, Surtain, and Ramsey in front of him, and you think that he should be ahead of Sauce?
Yeah, I think he should be ahead of Sauce. Sauce had a great year coming out, and I'm not taking that away from him. It's just that Jair, in my opinion, had a better year.
I mean,
overall.
I can't agree with that at all because Sauce was a first-team All-Pro, so that means that he was voted by all of his peers to be the best cornerback in the NFL. So I actually think that that he has a case to be ahead of Ramsey too. I think Sauce is the best cornerback in the NFL.
I think Ramsey should have been below both them. I'm not a Packer fan at all, but for sure Alexander deserves.
But that's a good representation for you.
Shut down Justin Jefferson, and it's tough to shut him down.
And yeah, just one catch, I think, for 17 or 12 yards that entire game that we played them in week 17.
Right. And they would argue that, oh, they put him in a bracket. Well, too bad. You're the best. You are the best wide receiver in the NFL. You're going to have to learn how to beat brackets. Stop making excuses. Jair shut you down, and so did Jeff Okudah.
Another thing I hate about that game was afterwards there was this whole conspiracy that the Packers purposely messed up their field when we played them, which wasn't true. It's just their equipment coach failed them in getting the right equipment because it had snowed and it had melted the previous little bit. And there was just big conspiracy about it afterwards because they were slipping because their equipment coach didn't get them the right equipment.
Yeah, I like this argument right here because I know Robert is mad that Alexander isn't up higher because I know that Packer fan does believe that he is the best cornerback in the NFL. And that's okay.
There's arguments to be made.
Like if this list started out with Jair Alexander as the number one corner and then those other three guys came behind them, I wouldn't argue with that list either, but I'm also not going to argue with this one. And I can't just say Alexander's better than Sauce when Sauce had a better year. And the only year he has to go by is the year that he played. And he played like the best cornerback in the NFL.
I mean, yeah, there's arguments to be made, but I will say Patrick Surtain, no, Jair's better. There's no way. But you can make an argument for Ramsey, Gardner, and Alexander, but Surtain, no.
Yeah, he played on a bad team, but I mean, he is a really, really good cornerback. I mean, just skill-wise alone, he deserves to be talked about in that breath right there. Van Nessel sack Goff 2 to 3 times a game. Well, good luck getting by our offensive line. You ain't sacking Goff because Goff sucks. You're gonna have to get by an elite offensive lineman to do that. And good luck, rookie. Good luck, rookie, getting by Penei Sewell. Anyway, let's go.
One thing that's surprising is Rodgers is 29th on this list.
I love it.
So yeah, let's go down a little bit further. So we had Jair Alexander, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
a lot of respect right there with because he was highly touted. He had as high of a grade as Andrew Luck.
Yeah, but here's my thing: Trevor Lawrence actively beat the Chargers in the playoffs. I would switch those two. Trevor Lawrence
Really? Oh man,
Yeah, one
I was
against
gonna
Justin
argue
Herbert
the
in the
other way.
playoffs last year.
Okay, let me get here. I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but I
No,
just
you
kind of
might have to take a real big scroll to see that for the Bears first one. Like,
I don't want to get in trouble for this. I mean, maybe I'll have to pull this thing down afterwards because I want the copyright stuff. But I just kind of wanted to show everybody what I'm looking at here just for a minute. You know, I got to get that comment out of there. But and I really don't mind this list at all. I mean, this is pretty cool.
There's only
and then you
some
got,
stuff I'd slightly move.
well, I mean, you're gonna, when you're on a list that consists of every single,
Player.
every single position. The thing is you're gonna argue that this player would be above a different position player or whatever. So when you're just looking at it, I look at like other wide receivers. Where was the last wide receiver taken? Right there. So Andrew Thomas, offensive tackle, Zach Martin, guard, Cooper Kupp. I mean, he's still a demon. Christian McCaffrey, yep. Quinnen Williams. I mean, I have no arguments right here. These guys are beasts. Aaron Rodgers, I have no problem with him being there. I mean, they had a lot of other
quarterbacks I get that.
Before him. I believe it's his worst season of his career, isn't it?
It might. There might have been times. Let me actually see.
You are a
2005. 2005 was that when he was starting? Because 2005. Because 2005 we went 4-12.
Say that again.
Yeah.
In 2005 we went 4-12. Was it Rodgers though, or was it Favre?
What year was that?
2005.
So 2005 and 2020, 23. Okay, got you.
Well, so there were 7 quarterbacks that were listed before Rodgers. I have no problem with them making Rodgers the 7th best quarterback in the NFL. I mean, just off of his.
Rodgers started in what, 2007?
No, I think he did back then. Let me see who.
Yeah.
No. 2005 Rodgers. I think that was Rodgers' first year.
Okay.
And yeah, that was one of our worst records. That was one of his worst records.
Yeah, I'm one of the believers in Rodgers at the Jets because they did have a lot of drops last year. His season could have been a lot better if his teammates didn't let him down as much. I think the defense is better and way better than the Green Bay defense. So
I agree, but unfortunately, the Packers wide receivers were super young. They really didn't have, veteran presence. So.
I mean, and that's fine. I mean, but the wide receivers and the playmakers at the Jets, they're also young, but I think that he'll do well there. Derrick Henry, Jalen Hurts. Wow, they had Rodgers ahead of Jalen Hurts. I would probably have to disagree with that. I think that
I'd have to disagree, but putting Jalen Hurts above Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence. They went to the Super Bowl last year with Hurts.
Right.
That's another weird one.
That is you should bump him up ahead of both of those. I agree with that. Do you agree with that, Mike?
Yeah, and to piggyback off him, I believe Hurts should have got the MVP of the Super Bowl, not Mahomes. Hurts had a better game. Unfortunately, they lost. There's only been one.
Yeah, except Hurts also, I think, fumbled. Had a really bad fumble that ended up getting returned for a touchdown.
Yeah, I think if he didn't get that fumble, I mean,
I think really then he would have been.
That's unprecedented that they would give the MVP to the opposing team. But if they didn't have that fumble, I think it would have been hard.
It's only happened one time, I believe, in the NFL that the MVP went to the losing team. And this was decades ago, if I'm not wrong, before my time.
Right. Well, throw that into the comments. I want to know that Jalen Hurts was ranked 31st and he was behind guys like Trevor Lawrence, Aaron Rodgers, and Justin Herbert. I want to know what you think about that. because I think that he can make a case for some of these top guys that were, in the Mahomes, Allens, and Burrow category too. I think that you could put him closer to that. But yeah, throw that into the comments. I want to know what you feel out there, world of football nuts that are out there, NFC North trash talkers. Number 30, 32 would be George Kittle. No problem there. Nick Chubb. Yeah, I think that he's a underrated running back. That dude is so talented.
Yeah. Well, most running back, I wouldn't say most running backs are. It's just hard because running backs really can't stay healthy. They're getting beat up in the trenches, and most of them end up hurt once a year, almost, for the most part.
Yep, they're bunching up a couple of these. Dexter Lawrence, defensive tackle. Yeah, he's been a menace. Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I mean, he was injured. That guy's got to prove that he could stay on the field for me to have him up that high. I don't know.
Agree.
He's exciting. He might be the most exciting player on this list. Jonathan Taylor at that spot, no problems there. Fred Warner. Yeah, that San Francisco defense has bailed them out of so many different situations. I mean, I swear that if that team had a quarterback that was even, slightly above average, that they would have probably won 3 out of the last 4 Super Bowls.
Crosby had a great year under him at 38 from the Raiders. I thought he played stellar.
Yeah, I want to put this up there. I'm gonna take my chances, and I'm just gonna put it out there. I hope that I don't get a copyright, but I really do want you guys to be able to look at what we're looking at. You know what I'm saying? Let me find this thing. The Chrome tabs. Boom.
You should be good, Russell. You just got to make it fast and no sound.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, just kind of going through here. So we had Fred Warner. You said Max Crosby, Cameron Hayward, Humphrey, Minka Fitzpatrick, Jason Kelsey. That's the first center off the board. Jeffrey Simmons, Von Miller. That's not fair to put Von Miller on there. Come on, man.
Humphrey was the first center. You said him just before, but you just probably misseen that.
Okay, so there's two centers off the board, no Ragnar. All right, so Von Miller, I mean, you got to take him off the list, man. I mean, you got to be available. You can't just call these guys the best players. And, I mean, you got to be available. Derwin James, Wirfs, there's another offensive lineman. A.J. Brown, yeah, gosh, he was really good last year. CeeDee Lamb definitely had a breakout season. Joe, I can help me out here. Batonio, Joel Batonio. Yeah, he's fun. Yeah. He's from I knew him back home years ago. Joey Batonio. No, Larry Tunsil. No problems there. Rashawn Slater. Gosh, where are our NFC North guys, man?
We're gone, but
Josh Jacobs, Mark Andrews, Saquon Barkley, DK Metcalf, Christian Darrisaw. There you go. NFC North. There you go. There's the next one. Christian Darrisaw. Where are you at, Minnesota Viking fan? Is there one out there? Is there a Minnesota Viking fan out there somewhere? You get some love at number 56. Christian Darrisaw. I guess you would call him the best offensive lineman in the NFC North, according to this list. Deebo Samuel, Chris Lindstrom, Quentin Nelson, Jordan Mailata. It's a good thing they re-signed him.
Joey Bosa.
Yeah. Jalen Waddle, Garrett Wilson. God, that was a good wide receiver crew last year. Last year was a really, really good wide receiver class. Hassan Reddick, DeForest Buckner, Penei Sewell. All right, finally we get an offensive lineman right there. Number 66, offensive lineman Penei Sewell. He has developed into a top tier right tackle, a brute that can dominate the run game. He's improving in pass production. I like it. He's moving up the ranks. I don't really expect any of these second and third year Lion guys to be on this list. You know what I'm saying? This is their year that they got to break out. You're going into the third year. I think that Penei Sewell could be a first or second team All-Pro this year.
I already have an argument with this list going through it. There's one player who's not on this list because I looked. Brock Purdy.
Okay.
The guy that single-handedly saved the 49ers quarterback room and kept them in contention and ended up going really far, beating the Cowboys, is not on this list.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, that's a pretty good defense that he gets to.
It is a good defense, but you have to have an offense to actually score. And they outscored the Cowboys, which is, with that as a first-year quarterback, as Mr. Irrelevant, that was crazy.
Well, I mean, if you want to put Brock Purdy on the top 100 list in the NFL players, that's fine. I mean, we could argue that out. I mean, what do you think about that world of the 12 people that are listening? Are you going to put Brock Purdy on this list? I mean, he did win a lot of games, but I would argue myself that you were a game manager and they didn't put you in a lot of positions to have to win games. Brian Burns, Terry McLaurin, Devontae Smith, Austin Eckler, Levante David, Chris Olave, Michael Hyde, Christian Wilkins, Stephon Gilmore, Roquan Smith. There you go. Mike, what do you think about that? Roquan Smith is number 76 on this list. Man, we can't get NFC North people on this list. But Roquan Smith is there.
Next year's the NFC North year.
But here's the one that you will like is ahead of Brock Purdy, ahead of Jared Goff, ahead of Kirk Cousins, ahead of Jordan Love. At number 78 is your very own quarterback, Justin Fields. There he is.
No. So Justin Fields is not better than Brock Purdy, so they just forgot about Brock Purdy.
So he says he showed off some amazing talent on a bad offense last season. His ability to run was special, 1,100 yards, but now more help around him and the passing ability should help him grow with his big-time growth. I mean, if we're looking at the way they did, then yeah, I agree that they're off. But I think that what they're looking at here is the way they feel that these guys are gonna perform, where they're at, and that sucks because I do think a lot more Lions should be on that list. But that's all right, man. I'm good with them not because they need to prove it first. T. Higgins, Joe Thuney, Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger on there, Derek Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown. There we go. Finally, Amon-Ra St. Brown is on that list. I value him a hell of a lot more than an 83 on the list. There's been a lot of people that we've mentioned that I think he should have been ahead of on here for the impact that he has, how teams have to defend him now because he's proven that he's one of the top 10 wide receivers in the National Football League. So, yeah, I think that's a little bit low for Amon-Ra. But honestly, I think that there's a lot of NFC North players that are kind of getting a shaft right here that are actually really good. Where the hell is Aaron Jones?
Yeah.
Christian
I'd
Kirk,
argue
87. You're telling me Christian Kirk is a better player than Aaron Jones?
Nope.
Get the F out of here with that. Come on, man. Christian Kirk is on this list. Christian Watson's better than Christian Kirk.
What number are you guys on?
My God. Christian Kirk, number 87. No DJ Moore. Ahead of DJ Moore.
Fields made that list.
Yeah, and Fields being ahead of Kirk Cousins, being ahead of
Brock
Jared
Purdy.
Goff, Brock Purdy, guys that were obviously better than he was. Grady Jarrett, Chris Godwin, Trey Hendrickson, Patrick Peterson's on that list. There you go. There you go. Do you see hey, Minnesota Viking fan? Where's Byron Jones? Where's Byron Jones on that list? You let Patrick Peterson go. He's number 92 overall. Dalvin Cook is number 94 overall. But you just get rid of these guys. No big deal. They're just great players that were on your team. Harrison Smith. There you go. You got one on there. Minnesota Viking fan got one defender.
Bears got one. Well, technically the Bills, but we'll take Edmonds. Roquan made the list too.
As a Detroit Lion fan, it's very disrespectful that a lot of these players on there. I mean, that's fine. They can make their list where I know that you're happy about Fields being at 78. I know that you wouldn't think that he would have been that high, but
personally, no.
Some of it holds some truth, but having Justin Fields being ranked there, towards the end, I don't mind that if they're going off potential because, he did play with a dog shit defense or dog shit offense last year, and they made it a lot better. They put people around him. They made the offensive line better. They drafted an offensive lineman in the first round, along with Nate Davis, along with DJ Moore, one of the best run after the catch wide receivers and short passes. So a Bear fan has absolutely any reason to be optimistic about what Fields can do this year. So
for sure they had to bring something around him. They, like you said, they didn't just help him on the offensive line, which our offensive line wasn't terrible. We just had injuries and they moved around on the line. Like they moved Cody Whitehair, which was a Pro Bowl center, to other positions. Like I didn't get that. I love him going back to center. I love the pickup in the first pick in the draft, which was we traded away, still got a stellar Darnell. I think he's gonna do real well. I seen film on him, and he did great against the top two defensive prospects in the league. And if he can do that as a pro, by far it's going to help Justin Fields for sure, 100%.
When you look at things like because I love the Mel Kiper type of thing, you reached or whatever. But the thing is like there were a handful of tackles that had that first round grade. You got one of them. So, and nobody knows what any of those guys are going to do rated, because if you have a first round grade, those guys are all really, really close in ability. And there's no problem with that guy. Really, you could have your left tackle for the next 10 years right there. And, it's not the sexiest pick in the world.
Right. But I love the DJ Moore move. I love that move for sure. Like traded away and, got a number one receiver, which we were lacking a number one receiver. I like Mooney and all, but he's not a number one receiver. I feel like he's not a number two receiver. He's more of a slot guy. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on with Claypool. I thought it was a good move. Now it's like I'm second guessing it. Like he's very unhappy with the trade going to the Bears. But I mean that happens. But you would think a player would be like, oh, I'm gonna prove something. I'm gonna play well so then I can get paid. The only thing he's doing is hurting himself. If he doesn't play or get on the field, he's hurting himself more than.
Well, he was kind of pulling that. That's kind of the reason that he got out of Pittsburgh to begin with. You can kind of see those things happening from from the distance and everything like that, but that kind of sucks. I like Mooney as a number 3 wide receiver, and it sucks for you guys that Claypool, because I think Claypool could be a bona fide number 2 wide receiver, and the way that they're going to use DJ Moore, I think that you guys will be all right, because you guys are going to be more running based, man. A lot of the RPOs.
I think it's going to be 50-50. You didn't get the weapons for Fields just to run the ball. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but you don't have to have. What I'm saying is, you're not going to have 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 wide receivers to the right, and spreading the ball out, trying to get him to be Drew Brees. What I'm saying is, you're going to probably run with a fullback, maybe a tight end, and 2 wide receivers out there doing a little bit of play action, a little RPO with that. And I think that they can be dangerous on offense in that way.
I agree. I think it's going to be one of the best Bears offense that we've seen in a long time, and we have not had very good offense. We're usually based on defense, which I feel like our defense got better last year, but at the same time, like, we need defensive edges. I felt like they didn't really go out and get that starter. Yeah, we got Walker from Carolina, but he's rotational. We need that starter.
I feel you there. That's we brought that up, and I know Greg Rice is well documented on here on giving the Chicago Bears front office a hard time about not going out and being more aggressive on getting guys that, I mean, you have to get after the quarterback, especially with these offensive linemen that are in this NFC North. I mean, it's gonna be hard to get there.
I feel Poles was very aggressive, but I feel like it's a 2-year process. Yeah, we got 100 mil this year, 100 mil next year. You can't get everything in 1 year. And what he got this year, I thought was more than half of what we needed. I personally didn't think we were going to make that big splash, as you know me, Russell, into the linebacker position, especially after denying Roquan Smith his money, saying, we're going to trade you away. Then they went out and got, Edwards and Edmonds, one of the better linebackers in the NFC.
Looking back through that, it's like, gosh, you had Roquan. Why didn't you just keep? I mean, there's got to be a part of the Chicago Bear fan base that's kind of like, why did you spend all the money on Edmonds when you could have just kept Roquan? Why didn't you just extend the guy?
Well, from the beginning with his rookie year, he didn't have an agent, and they played hardball at the beginning just as well as they did at the end. You know what I mean?
So you're saying it was more on him? You would think it was more on him and his agent than the Bears really wanting to work it out with him?
He didn't really have an agent. They, at the end of last year or the year before, they basically said, this is what we're going to give you. This is our final thing. They didn't come into an agreement. So, I mean, the Bears, for a business prospect, it's good to get something than nothing. Yeah, they got 2 picks for him.
You got good picks. I thought you got good compensation for him.
Yeah, for sure. And what I didn't understand is from the start, from him jumping on the field, he was our number 1 tackler, number 1 defender, couldn't make a Pro Bowl until he went to goddamn Baltimore.
Right.
I don't understand that situation. He should have been a Pro Bowler well before he went to Baltimore.
Yeah, I the Roquan Smith thing, I mean, you're hoping that Edmonds, I think that Edmonds was a really, really good pickup, but you still have the unknown factor. You still got to gel with the team. He's got to come in and do those things, and you're hoping that he does that. But I got Barry. Barry's in here. He's wondering what we're talking about. We were talking about the top 100 players, and really it just sparked the conversation to kind of where we're at right now. Obviously, the NFC North was not very well represented on this list, and that's kind of where we were at. And we got into the Bears, and the Bears in a very, very improved roster. And I've talked with a couple of Bear fans, and I think, just my opinion, that overzealous Bear fan is looking at the improvement being like 12, 13 wins. And where if I'm a Bear fan and you go from 3 wins and let's say you win 8 or 9 wins this year, maybe make the playoffs on a wild card fringe type of thing, or maybe on the outside, I would consider that a win because I just went through it. I just did it last year. I had an expectation of 7 to 8 wins, and I got 9, and I felt good about it. Okay, I feel like we're moving in the right direction. But the fan that goes out there and says, hey, we're going to win 13 wins, like a lot of Lions fans were doing last year, like were they disappointed? Are you setting yourself up for disappointment if you don't get 12, 13 wins as a Bear fan?
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely at that 9 win, like you said. Anything better than 6, I'm happy with for sure.
So you're good with doubling your win total And
Definitely.
and that's where, like, Bear Fan, if you're watching Bear Fan, Mike the Bear Fan is a logical look at the real things that are happening. I know he does play some homer ball sometimes, but we all do that. Everybody talks about their 7th round draft pick being an all-pro and all that. But just in reality, where we're here in the NFC North, and we don't allow each other a lot of homerness on this. That's what I love about the bad takes. I mean, you have a 75% chance of getting your take wrong, and that's because there's 3 fan bases that think that you're full of crap. And that's why it's fun to come on here and talk about this stuff. But Bear Fan, if you're out there, if you're not in witness protection like these Viking fans are, throw us a comment in there and tell me what you think. What are your realistic expectations for the Chicago Bears? And if you want to troll, go ahead and throw your troll comments in there too.
I think the Bears are just barely going to miss the playoffs by 8 wins. I think you're at that mark where you went from 3 into 8. That's still a massive increase, but I'm still having a hard time fathoming you winning a lot of games against the North still. It's just kind of hard for me to fathom. Like, I think the Vikings, yeah, I think you could pull some off there. Maybe one against the Packers. I don't think you're going to win either against the Lions. So I think that's
So you looking at this? I just posted this out here. This is Van Ness. This is one of your boys. He says that the NFC North prediction, Lions at 12-5, Bears at 10-7, Lions at 9-8, and Packers at 7-10. I mean, obviously he's laughing at this and thinking that you guys are better than that. But this is a Doctor Strange reality right here, that with the parity of the NFL, that I don't see this as that far off and something that could happen. Like, I don't just assume, like every Packer fan does, that Jordan Love is just going to come in and take over and it's going to be awesome. Joe Barry's going to get the defense together and you guys are in the playoffs again. I don't think it's that easy. And it might be. I could be wrong. This could all be contorted and switched, but this is not an unrealistic take for Lions to jump from 9 to 12 wins. For the Bears to make a jump, that might be a little bit of a stretch, but that's at the top of that.
Yeah, you could also argue that the Vikings end up with the 7 and 10 wins. Like, there's some arguments to be had there as well because of what they've lost.
I'm 100% with you. I personally don't.
I actually am with you.
I got the under on that for sure. I only got them winning 7.
I don't think the Lions could win 12. I think 11's probably the highest.
Wow. I mean, I don't want to go all homer on it what I think the highest could be, but like, depending on how they come out of the gate, if they start out 2-0, you can't find a game on that record on the entire schedule that I would think they would lose. So, but they also could start out 0-2 against 2 of the best teams in the NFL, but they're going to get tested right out the gate and see what their mettle is. And I know for a fact that Dan Campbell's got these guys ready to run through a wall.
But if they can keep the momentum going, like you said, at the end of the year last year, they got the momentum going. And then going into the last week to beat the Packers, to knock them off the playoffs, that was just, I wouldn't say impressive, but it get your hopes up. You know what I mean?
I love the talk.
You guys look great on paper. For sure, but
I love the talk right now, because really, when people criticize the Detroit Lions, they criticize things that make me smile, because I know that if that's what you think that it is, then you're going to get killed next year by the Lions. It's like, if you think that it's about stopping Jared Goff, you're dead. If you think that it's about like just containing the run game, then you're dead. The idea is that this team has been built to kick your ass. And it isn't because my guys are faster than your guys. It's because my guys up front on both sides of the ball, what Brad Holmes has built, you're going to go 15 rounds with some big dudes that don't have the names that are on the back of the jerseys that are going to kick your ass. It isn't Jared Goff. Jared Goff's going to get to sit back there and sip some lemonade. And he's going to take his time to dissect you. And you're going to be mad because he looks with that stupid little smirk on his face. And he's just going to, oh, yeah, I just did what I could do with my teammates. And they got open and made plays when I hear that. And he gets to say all that. And you get to go, God, why? Shut up, Goff. That's what's going to happen because of Frank Ragnow, because of Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker and the real guys that are on the Detroit Lions. Oh, that's fun. That's fun to think. You want to be able to physically match up to the best teams, and that's what the best teams do. That's what happened when the Green Bay Packers got choked out of the playoffs by San Francisco all of those times. Had nothing to do with Jimmy Garoppolo. Dude won a game, was throwing 6 frickin' passes. I mean,
yeah, but that's running the ball. You know what I mean?
That's running the ball and being physical up at the line of scrimmage and dominating Aaron Rodgers' offensive line and getting in there and making his day hard.
See, I think that the Lions are going to do that this year with that offensive line because your offensive line looks great for sure. If they can stay healthy, Monty will have a big year.
You know, Barry doesn't have very many. Now, Barry's from Scotland. He's from Scotland, and he's a Packer fan. And he's kind of like Tom Novans, where he doesn't take a really good, optimistic look at this thing. He thinks that they made a mistake drafting Jordan Love from the get-go, and that they had a good backup quarterback in Brett Hundley, and they shouldn't have rocked that boat, and that now they have to pay for their sins. I hope I didn't paraphrase you in the wrong way, Barry. I'll throw the link in there just in case you want to come on. I don't know if we can get this thing to happen again. We had a bad connection. Obviously, our internet doesn't handle Scotland very well.
But I will say, I could make the argument that Jordan Love could have a breakout year next year because one of the games at the very end of the season against the Eagles, there's something called EPA, expected points added. It takes in all of your plays. Is my phone going off? I think I'm getting a call. Hold on.
I thought that was somebody.
Number. Sorry, I was getting a call and it was just some unknown number, so it's probably a telemarketer.
Shitting all over your take.
We've had enough of that shit.
Oh, gosh. But no, go ahead.
But yeah, no, so EPA, I'm getting called again. Hold up. I'm declining the call. I don't know who it is.
You're calling back.
Those spammers are worse than my comment box. Do I got one?
Dude,
I got one coming now.
Go ahead and pass on me. I got to mute because somebody's calling me.
Oh, no, I got it. I want to see if I can get Barry in here. What's up, Barry?
Going on.
Hello, Barry. Let me see if I can't get you. Hello. Let me see if I can't get this thing hooked in. I don't know. I've been trying to. We are going to get Barry in here. Can you hear me, Barry?
I can hear you, mate.
Okay, I want to try to get you hooked into this my Bluetooth here, so everybody else. It says that you are. What?
I can hear him, but it's barely. I can barely hear him.
Go ahead and say some stuff, Barry.
Fuck your Lions, fuck your Bears, fuck the fucking. I'm only joking.
I'll just hold him up here because I'm supposed to be hooked to the BTA, but I'm not for some reason.
I'm not trying to disrupt your show, by the way, because I'm enjoying watching the show.
But no, I wanted you to come on here because I wanted you to give your take on Jordan Love and what we were talking about the other day, like.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So can the guys that are watching the show, can they hear this convo?
Yes, I got a heads up because I have you going into my my speaker right here. So I'm doing it the ancient way, but it's working.
If it's not prop, don't try and fix it.
Right.
So my take on Jordan Love then, untried and untested. There's all the hype going on with the Packers, and I'm kind of wanting to get into the hype because they have got some guys on the draft, like the two tight ends, Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave. there's this other wide receiver, Reed. I think he's going to be like another Christian Watson, all the hype and delivers nothing. You know, I'm trying to be an optimist with the Packers this year, but what seems to piss me off consistently year after year is there's all the hype, and that was even when we had Aaron Rodgers, that this could be our year. But when you look at Brett Huntley, when Aaron Rodgers was injured, Brett Huntley had a better team than what Jordan Love has currently got. And so, because this team is untried and untested, nobody knows what they're going to get. And I bring it back to the office. They want to get pats on the back and give themselves a round of a fucking applause for what they're doing for Jordan Love. With that same mentality, if they had fucking done that for Aaron Rodgers wouldn't be out the fucking door. Now, some of the guys that are watching this show that are into soccer, you might have heard of a guy called Lionel Messi. Now, Lionel Messi is an Argentinian guy who, for the best part of 10, 15 years, has been the best footballer in the world. Soccer football world, right? Here in American football, you've got Aaron Rodgers. Now, I watch the shows like on the NFL networks. Aaron Rodgers is like Lionel Messi. Both have won the World Cup one time. Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl, World Cup one time in a career. Then you've got Lionel Messi, who at last year's World Cup, because of his age, had he not won the World Cup, he's won everything else that would have been on his, you call it a resume, we call it here in the UK a CV. You know, he would have had that on his CV that he didn't win the World Cup, like Dan Marino. And these guys who are running the office for the best part of 5-7 years, you know, trading up to get Jordan Love when we didn't need Jordan Love. And then Brian Cunting cunt. No, not really reaching out to Aaron. And I mean, I've been following some of these Packers pages in the last couple of years, mate. Right? I know I keep talking and waffling on.
No, it's great. I mean, your name for Brian Cunton cunt. It's good.
The word here in the UK is quite a popular word. You know, I'm in sports as well. You know, it's a popular word. You're either a good one, a bad one, or a shady one.
Yeah. So I want to give while you're in the back there, I got Evan back on here, Packer. I want you to respond. I know that you were listening to that.
I caught a little bit of it. What was he saying about Brett Huntley? Huntley, our old backup.
He said that that he played for a better team than Jordan Love is going to play for.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
you can make an argument for that. You can definitely make an argument for that. I think that eventually, with our new and improved, just all the rookies we have, I think that we could definitely come out with something better than what Brett Huntley went into.
Hold on a minute. So, go ahead and start that again. I had you down. I was talking to Evan. Go ahead and start that again.
Aye. So when you look at when you look at Brett Huntley, when he had the Aaron Rodgers season, when Aaron Rodgers was out, the season was done when Aaron came back. The season was already done. You look at Jordan Love now. We have to stick by him. Loyalty is a big thing with me personally. So this season, he's either going to get the same wins to loss ratio as Aaron Rodgers did in 2008. You know, he's either going to get he's either going to get 6 and 11. I know, because they've added an extra game into the playing season. Aaron Rodgers was 6 and 10 in his first season. So if Jordan Love can beat the Aaron Rodgers benchmark in his first season, then we're going to be stuck with Jordan Love next year.
Mm-hmm.
But Jordan Love needs to have a season to show what he can do. And if the guy fails, I'm not going to be beating the guy up, because it wasn't the fans that put Jordan Love in this situation. It was Brian cunt that put him in that situation. all I'm saying is that Jordan Love doesn't have as good a team as what Brett Huntley had round about him. So that's why I like to burst Packers fans' bubbles. This season isn't going to be. It's not going to be a successful season. You know, we could we could maybe get 8 wins or 9 wins and still not make the playoffs. And as far as I'm concerned, that's not good enough. That isn't good enough, you know.
So there you go. I mean, not every single Packer fan is just, you know, riding that hype wave down, and it needs to be represented. You know, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but it's also not as bad as what people might say. So, you know, you got the highs and lows. If it doesn't work out, if he's awful, yeah, you guys could end up with, you know, 5-6 wins. Like if that experiment fails, I mean, you guys could be picking in the top 10 with an extra first round pick, grabbing the quarterback of the future. And then,
here's the thing. I'd have to argue, if we get 6 wins next year, I'd call that a successful season for a first time starting quarterback. If you get a quarterback that comes out with 6 wins.
Hold on one second, Barry. Hold on one second. I got to go back and forth right here. I know that you can't hear that part right here, but go ahead, Evan.
Yeah, I'd say if he pulls up with 6 wins next year, I would not be mad at all, because then I think that's a pretty successful season.
Yeah,
when it comes to starting quarterback,
I think that's where Gutekunst did well with the Aaron Rodgers trade, because he put himself in a win-win situation, because he extended Jordan Love for one to where it's only going to cost $13.5 million to get rid of him next year if he sucks ass. And then you're going to be able to use that extra draft capital to be able to move up and maneuver to get whatever quarterback it is that you want right there. So I like the fact that he may have messed up when he drafted him. And I think that he may even think that. Go ahead, Barry.
He's trying to make good out of a bad situation.
Yes.
You don't let Lionel Messi, the greatest footballer in the modern soccer era, leave your team and go with a rookie unknown. Aaron Rodgers wanted to stay at Green Bay, but there's all this talk that Brian didn't phone him enough. Well, I'll believe the 4-time MVP more than I'll believe Brian. You know, you look after your quarterback, you look after your Hall of Famer, you do a Tom Brady on Aaron Rodgers, you do a Patrick Mahomes on Aaron Rodgers. You don't treat Aaron Rodgers or a caliber player like Aaron Rodgers as if, well, you want this and you want that, well, you're not going to get this and you're not going to get that. I don't buy into Brian doing something great. This has been bad 3 years ago. And this shit has been caused by Brian. And getting weapons for Jordan Love, well, that makes sense, doesn't it? You know, getting Jordan Love weapons, different things, blah, 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 and getting somebody high caliber in the first draft. I would still much rather have Aaron Rodgers in this team. You know, I'm friends with Vikings fans, and they're saying that Aaron Rodgers is past his best. Tom Brady played up until he was 43. Aaron Rodgers will play up to his 43. And Aaron Rodgers, at this moment in time, in my opinion, has at least 2 more good seasons in that throwing arm. So if he doesn't do it with the Jets for the next 2 years, I would say his best years is by him. So I would much rather have had Aaron Rodgers this season and next season and build a team around Aaron Rodgers. But they haven't been building a team around Aaron Rodgers. They've not been getting him weapons. When it comes to free agency, we don't get nothing. We get trash for fucking free agency. And I know I sound as if I'm a bit pissed off, because I am a bit pissed off.
But it's okay.
The way the management runs Green Bay, they should be put up at court for crimes against humanity.
Well, Barry, we are up against it right here. This has been a fantastic conversation today all the way around with both of you guys, Evan, Mike the Bear Fan. Mike the Bear Fan, especially during the season, is going to be broadcasting every Wednesday at I think it's 7 p.m. your time, or
7:30.
7:30. So what I'm going to do right now is I want to plug Bill the Packer Fan show, which is tonight. I think they're going live on the Frozen Tundra Network. I want to invite Barry. I want to be able to invite you on there to continue this Green Bay Packer conversation on the show tonight. So that'll be on the Frozen Tundra Network. You can follow Bill the Packer fan. You can follow Mike the Bear fan. You can also follow the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. And yeah, we do this live every single day. And I want you to support the people that come on the show. This is a platform for a lot of different podcasters and a lot of different people putting out content for their NFC North teams. And I want to be there for you. And that's what we're going to be doing every day, 11 a.m. on the Eastern time. We're going to be in here. So I'm going to sign off right here because we've been talking an hour and I can't even believe it. It was so much fun today. God bless each and every one of you if you're listening out there. And I'm looking forward to talking to you guys. I guess it'll be on Monday now for the NFC North Open Mic, 7 p.m. on Monday. Talk to you guys later. Peace and love.
Happy Father's Day weekend.
Happy Father.